is Håkan from Ahrex hooks, and today I'm going to tie a salmon fly called the blue rat. And the blue rat is a hair-winged salmon fly, and this special pattern, the blue one, is originally from Poul Jorgensen. And I'm tying the fly on the salmon hook from Ahrex HR414. This is the size 4. And I start by setting the thread. I'm using a fluo orange thread. The fly calls for a red head, so I'm using this thread to tie the whole fly. Instead of red, I'm using the fluo orange because if you use the red one and you varnish the head, you won't get as clear red as you get with the fluo orange. So we start with a tag, which is fine oval gold tinsel, and tie it in along the shank, and then you make touching turns all the way up to where the tail is supposed to be. And the rear half of this fly's body is blue floss. And to get an even underbody for the floss, I secure the tinsel and tie it along on the shank, close to halfway, and then we cut it off. And then I tie in the ribbing, which is slightly wider oval gold tinsel. So I tie it along the shank on the other side, all the way back to the tag. And the tail is made out of peacock sword feathers. This is not the herl you're using for bodies. This is the feathers that are sort of framing in the eye feathers on the peacock. And I'm using this blue-green fibers for the tail. And as you can see, they have a slightly curve. And I try to put the bundle together so all the fibers are at the same direction. And then I tie it in carefully so they don't twist too much. And I tie down the waist end also to keep the underbody as smooth as possible. And then we take the floss. I'm using a sort of royal blue color. And make sure you get a smooth floss body as possible. All the way back to the tail. Cover everything. And then back forward again. The pattern actually calls for a whaling on the fly, and if you want you can just leave the floss end and cut it off shortly over the hook, but I normally don't use the whaling. And the rest of the body is peacock herl, so we cut out 3 herl. That's enough. And we tie it in front of the blue floss and just wind the herls together. And tie it in. And then we take the ribbing, making 5 even turns over the body and tie in. The wing on all the rat flies comes from the gray fox, the American gray fox. So I cut out quite big bunch, because the grey fox has a lot of underfur on the pelt, and I just want mainly the hair, the guard hair. So I cut off, and then I hold the tips and gently pull out most of the underfur. And then you see that's not much left, so I think I need to cut out some more. If you want, you can stack the hair if you want the tips from the guard hair to be even, but I tend to like them a bit uneven. That should do it. And to secure the wing on this fly and make it last longer, I measure how long the wing I want. I want it to be reaching the tip of the tail. And then I just cut off the root end before I tie them in, and just put a small drop of varnish in the end. This will secure the wing. Just make sure it's long enough, yes. And just tie it down. The pattern also calls for jungle cook feathers on the sides, but as I see it, I mean, the jungle cook is optional for every fly. You can use substitute, or if you have bread birds, you can use that as well, but I'm just leave them out. And the finish of the fly is the hackle, which is a grizzly hackle. I'm using hand hackle. And it's supposed to be tied in as a collar on the fly. So this is why we leave it out to the last for the fly. And just tie it in by the tip and double the hackle. Pull the fibers back as you wind it. 3, 4 turns. And tie it in. And then we just make a red head on the fly. Some use red varnish on the fly, but that's sometimes it's difficult to do that without it soaking up in the hackle or in the wings, so it's better to use a red, or in this case fluo orange thread. And when you have a nice smooth head, you just make a whip finish and just add some extra varnish on the head. You might need 2 or 3 layers, but if I had used an ordinary red thread, the head wouldn't have been red, it would have been sort of dark claret, but using the fluo red makes it perfect. So there you have the blue rat.